We do not own the rights to anything or any music that's heard during the duration of this podcast. Also, a lot of these shows will have explicit content. So if you are not a fan of any cursing or profanity, you may want to walk away, but that does not mean that every show will consist of such. I know y'all tired of it, but we got a new season of The Past. Welcome to season 8, the Mamba Year. Podcast available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of your podcast platforms. Here you'll get a dose of content related to tech, the productivity world, and most importantly, how to be a better you. The theme for this year, personally, is receiving grace. And we definitely want to do better with receiving it and being open to being a better us from who we were a year ago. So this is season 8 of The Past, and I hope you all enjoy. Very brief disclosure before you listen to this podcast. The audio will be a little different only because in this instance, the 2 microphones that were used for recording somehow were able to get myself on one source of audio and my guest as the other source of audio, meaning when I speak, you're going to hear me in the left ear. When you hear her speak, it's going to be in the right ear. I promise that was only a one-time thing. It was an accessory that I was using, testing it out. Had some learning curves with that. You will hear about that in episode 400.1, aka episode 401. So I just want to be sure that I give you all this disclaimer before you listen to the actual podcast. Thank you. Episode 400. Yeah, I'm not going to treat that lightly. Episode 400, as in following 399 of The Past, is here. And BT is here. I'm back. And I had a whole list of topics, but some stuff came up. So when things come up or when things come arise, you got to kind of adjust with the times. And I got a little special guest. And it's probably going to be another special guest because I guarantee you everybody going to pop in here in the middle of this show. And should be a fun show. I don't know if I should introduce you or if you should introduce yourself because I know you, but people don't know you. And
I suck at introductions.
That's a lie.
Okay.
And she just introduced herself, but you got it.
My name is Neash and I suck at introductions.
My name is Neash and I'm a content creator that does 1,001 things and I'm trying to niche down to what I want to niche in doing. Is that better?
My name is Aneasha, aka Neash, and I am a multi-faceted human being who can't pick something and stick with it.
Okay.
Fair.
But she can't do introductions. All right. So we're starting off good.
All right.
So this is ironic because I'm using her equipment with my equipment and it's giving me ideas on how to upgrade my equipment.
Always here to inspire.
Yep. Divide and conquer.
Let's do it. The strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers. So I will forewarn you. You will hear some little folks from time to time.
Mother.
Oh, now you tell us other stuff that let's introduce more stuff.
My introduction is going to unfold the more we converse.
Okay.
I am a mother. This
is going to be good because I'm going to do something really petty. I'm going to show her the time so she'll see how far we get into this and how many times she layers and unlayers like who she is and what she does.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun because for her, she's coming into my podcast world and she is a podcaster who's looking to come back to doing podcasts. But as I mentioned earlier, she has equipment and this is not going to be bash niche episode because I know offline that always seems like what I do.
The jab shall be thrown though, and thankfully I have thick skin.
Do you?
I like to act like I do.
Okay. See, well now we breaking ice now. Now we breaking
layers are getting peeled.
Layers are getting peeled. So, as she mentioned, she is a multifaceted creative. Been in the space for a while.
Never consistently.
No, consistently on selective things.
That's true.
When you dedicated, all right, so one, for the record, as many of you know, I follow, which I will talk about on this episode, I follow what I call the Angie Martinez method of everything is, I don't write questions down anyway, but with you, I really don't need to write questions because...
You already know the answers?
No, they don't know the answers.
True.
The viewers don't know anything. Do you want to start, or do I want to give the breakdown of how we met and got to being like bro and sis?
I'll let you take it.
Oh, look at you trying to back like B Mike for adjustments.
I told you I'm in this new soft girl era. I am no longer the driver. I am passenger princess. So you go right ahead.
Okay. So now I got to figure out which app was it that started all this chaos. Was it Twitter?
Probs.
For those who don't understand,
MySpace.
Probably. Might have been MySpace. But over 10 years ago.
More than that.
Over 10 years ago.
I feel like you could say over 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Carry the one.
Yes. Yeah.
09-ish?
Yeah. Around 15.
Okay. So yeah, over 15 years ago, when she was at the ticket stand of getting into my circle.
I was waiting in the queue.
It was waiting in the queue. That's a great way to describe it. We linked and talked and connected and became good friends. And in the process, I pretty much literally have seen her bring 3 amazing people into the world.
Oh, I thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So in that, and I'm not making light of that, but I'm bringing it up because in spite of everything that did or did not go on, somehow we always kept contact.
Truly.
But ironically, the connection, she fine. If she talks, she talks.
Okay.
Listen, I already gave him disclaimers.
Y'all gonna hear some coos, screams, cries, just...
Yeah, but I don't think hers gonna be that bad.
No.
But I think the bigger picture, it became like, I don't know if you had moved back from Arizona. I'm not sure, but I know it was one point, I think Max was, your oldest was, and if I'm putting names out there, I can edit. Your oldest had seen, you only had your oldest at the time. Mm-hmm. And I think you were at Wendy's.
Yeah.
Whole time didn't know.
Crazy.
Whole time didn't know that your parents was like that close from that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a clue. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about, so not like it's gonna make a difference to y'all's listeners. But we had met then in person, and met Max, and from there almost became like an unwritten code of like, I need you to not. I ain't gonna say I need you to check on me, but like it helps when you like get me in line. Mm-hmm. And now it's been kind of like for the last, I would say the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, because I've been back since 2019.
Right.
And I saw you right when I got back.
Yeah, exactly.
When I say back, I lived on the West Coast for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I moved back to the East Coast in 2019.
Yep.
Okay, pause for edit. What do I do if I need to cough?
Cough.
Okay.
Congratulations, you coughed.
I'm just trying to be mindful of the editing.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That I don't trip about. And plus, I'm not editing. So let me give you my editing etiquette. And it's very simple, but not simple. It's basically, if there's something that's like so egregiously aggressive that happens, mm-hmm. then I'm like, okay, let me mark that part of the show to just take it out altogether.
Right.
Or if it's like hey, I got this going on, let me just pause the show and then come back and resurrect it. So
gotcha, because I'm getting over a cold, so the phlegm is still phlegming.
Yeah, it was better than what you, because earlier I was like, she didn't scratch. Yeah. Thanks. So there's an example of editing for those taking notes. If you want to learn how to edit, go to my master course.
Stupid. Oh, let me get the phone.
No, it's fine. I told you, she's a mother.
I'm a mother.
And yeah, I'm drinking water out of the Stanley, which I didn't realize until I got here that she's a Stanley addict too.
Yeah, it is safe to say I'm a Stanley addict, being that I own 5.
I thought you said 3.
I ordered 3 more, and I already own 2.
Stanley addict.
I own 3 20-ounce and then 2 40-ounce.
Yeah, I'm sticking to one. My one is all I need because I'm not about to. That's too much. I don't travel enough, and I don't need them that much. Other than just making sure I got this main one, and it's probably the most unique because of the design. So.
Well, I bought my little ones for my little ones.
Got it.
So.
They don't use it yet.
But they will.
Okay. The power of the.
The power of the tongue.
Nope, the power of the pink. We talked about this offline.
Stupid.
If you want to learn some information, I'll share that. I will be sure to share that in the show notes. It's a podcast that kind of gave like a concept and backstory of like the Stanley craze from where it was to where it is, and the woman effect of the pink color effect. It's something that it's a real thing that I didn't realize was a thing, but it's also
Truly.
like the brand. Stanley had been out for like quite a while, and no one really knew how big it was until
They started intentionally marketing towards women.
Right.
Because we are the consumers.
Yeah.
And the influencers.
Yep. So, yeah, the marketing picked up for us. So, yeah, nearly 9 minutes in. So, for those who are new to the show, even though you know this and understand this, are you able to give a perspective or a breakdown about why this would be a good starting point? So let's do something real quick. Hold on, all right. So we had a little technical brief break, whatever.
No, we didn't. We had to tell the kids to shut up.
She had. Oh, look at this is the same one that just was like, yeah, you know, he's the one who's always going to be blunt and direct, and I'm the one who's
definitely the soft. I'm sharp and soft with the kids, but we were telling them to shut up.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
No. So one of our big things, a lot of my listeners who listen to the show hear me talk about this, but you as a witness of it, understanding this will be a good starting point, and then we'll have like a good free for all about it. Mm-hmm. Planning. How much because let's be real, you did not like planning at one point. You didn't understand why anytime we would have like, still not used to the mic adjusting thing, but how we would have like conversations about planning and why I was so adamant about it. Give the listeners an understanding of
my relationship with planning.
Yeah, and kind of like the foundational of like us talking about it, where it was, where it's going, etc.
So I think I need to start from my childhood.
That's fair.
I can't say always because I fell out of it and I feel like I'm trying to fall back into it. But as a child and even teenager into college, really, if I'm being honest, before having kids, and I'm not blaming it on my kids, but before having kids, I was a very structured, goal-oriented person who planned a lot. Like lists, written out, digital, like I really kept track.
Reminder addict.
Huh?
Reminders addict, etc.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And then I feel like I had my first kid and I still kept up with it, especially like with his appointments and stuff because he had some complications. And then really after having the second one, stuff started to kind of get a little shaky, a little overwhelming. But also I think a big part of it was trying to incorporate somebody else into my very strict planning process, and they weren't on that level.
Right.
So it was either try to pull them along with me and deal with those frustrations, or just say F it altogether. And I think the latter is definitely what happened. Mm-hmm. And so now that I am back, I can't really say back on my own, in a different situation.
That's fine. They're good. They're kids. It's a house.
Now that I'm in a different situation, thankfully with someone who... Stop. Now that I'm in a different situation, thankfully with someone who is structured and goal-minded and very planner happy, I'm trying to get back to that space. So to give context to my situation, I'll have to...
Lord, I definitely got to edit that out.
To give context...
God dang.
Shut up, right? Well, they get worse. To give context to my situation... I'm a mom of 3.
So who you're hearing now?
Yes, 9, 2, and 1. I work tech adjacent. Brian's not going to agree with that.
No, it's like, what you mean? Why wouldn't I agree with that?
Because when I say I'm not in tech, you'd be like, yes, you are.
Okay, so I'll ask a simple question, just so you can start, so you can say that you're not in tech. What's the name of the company? Well, the company that you work for, they work with tech, correct?
They provide a software.
Okay, and your role in the job is
Relationship management.
Okay, that does what?
I manage accounts.
Okay. In tech.
I don't do the coding and all the more technical stuff, so I have a non-technical role within the tech industry.
So there are people who work in the tech role who don't work directly with tech. Like, I have someone who sits beside me that does not do anything tech based at all. She has no knowledge or awareness of coding, but her job is relevant because it's the interpreter between tech and business.
That sounds like a fun role, actually.
That's pretty much what most
Is that project management?
BS. It's a systems analyst.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I work in tech.
Yeah,
I guess. I am an aspiring entrepreneur.
an inactive entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur on ice. And then outside of that, daughter, sister, friend, girlfriend. What else? Mentor. Mentee. Heavy on that. So it's like I went from having 2 balls to having 20 balls and just trying to juggle all of them, keep them all in the air. And at one point, I had 2 kids back to back and all the balls was just on the floor. And now that I'm kind of getting into the groove of being a mom of 3, activities, work, this and that, now I'm like, okay, I feel like I can do this. But I do understand the importance of planning and forecasting and, managing my capacity. And that's something that I am actively trying to get a firm hold of to make sure nothing falls through the cracks.
Okay. So to bring the relevance factor into that, how relevant did it become? And this is going to be interesting because, like, the audio's picking up. Like, so the mics, it's a funny thing with the mics, and y'all can't see this, but it's me also doing this because I rarely use, like, I'm like one mic guy. So when you have 2 mics, even if one person is on the other mic, like, I'm looking at the levels. It's like, my levels are fine. Your levels are fine, but I'm talking and it's like, it's still picking up. Like, the audio may double up, but should be fine. We'll see. I'll let the equipment do what the equipment does. And I think it's doing that. It's just me not being used to it.
Oh, because it's the AB thing.
Yeah, the AB thing, but also like
how is both bars going at the same time. Got you. And
then I think it's also probably because I'm looking at this, like, I got it hidden, but how the numbers. There's a thing that I have a love-hate relationship about Audition.
Oh yeah, I'm I'm the
GarageBand.
No.
Who?
The other Apple one.
Logic.
There it is.
Yeah, I like Logic. Logic's not bad.
I'm a Logic Pro girl.
Yeah. So yeah. So as far as planning goes, and you're so the listeners will understand, you are primarily digital, but beginning to learn from time to time, paper and pen doesn't hurt.
I've really jumped back and forth, and I think, trial and error is important to just figure out what works for you and when. Mm-hmm. I do think, like, certain aspects of my life, it probably would be better for paper and pen, like with my daily work tasks. It's been better for me paper-wise because it's literally right there in front of my face on my desk. It's not something where I'm having to move windows around and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing next. But on, like, the day-to-day, as I'm out and about, bopping around town, digital works best because I could just look at my phone and know, what the next thing on the agenda is. Digital also works when it comes to, planning something with my partner because we can sync and have, like, a collaborative calendar. So, and then, like, paper works best when it comes to, like, meal planning because I have a list on the refrigerator of what we're doing. So, right. I'm just really figuring out what works best at times. And I'm because, I'm on a weight loss journey. Mm-hmm. I think when it comes to that planning and planning out worksheets. Oh, word. Hello. Also on a weight loss journey. I told you things are going to unfold as we go. paper, like a big board in the garage where my gym is going to be best for that. So I can just visually see, okay, this is what I'm doing today, what I'm doing tomorrow and stuff like that. So, I definitely see the importance of both, just figuring out where they work best in my life. And I think I'm almost there, about 85%.
Okay. So, and then I always, the one that I have fun with and I pick with her about because it's my favorite level of planning. And every time I say it to her, she gets mad.
No.
I'm not expecting you to do it because it's not, no.
Is it Bujo?
Yeah. So my tangent I always say is Bujo's not for everyone. Just like I think I've shared this on my show in different forms. I don't like day at a glance. I think it's a horrible.
Day at a glance.
It's a planner. It's a planner that is in every store. They have it every year. Literally,
I'm trying to envision it.
You've seen them.
I know I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a simple planner. You can look it up while we talking about it.
Let's take a gander.
When you see it, you'll understand which one it is. But day at a glance has been kind of like one of those. Day at a glance, like personally as a guy, I'm not using Happy Planner, Passion Planner.
I tried Happy Planner with the stickers.
But you can do it. I think that's what happens. A lot of people try to do more than what they need to in planning. You have to find your way of doing it.
I feel like people try to incentivize planning and make it something fun. I think that's what Happy Planner really leans into.
Same with Bujo.
That shit becomes expensive, and then you just don't want to do it.
What happened with Bujo?
Shush, you can't scream. If she's quiet, it's okay, but you definitely cannot scream. Hand your uncle this thing back. Hand him that. Look down.
This is something that belongs to me. Can you bring it back over here, please?
Give it back to your uncle. He was trying to tell you to be quiet without telling you. You cannot scream, okay? Don't do it again.
See you.
Bye. But yeah, I found that simple planning works best for me.
Mm-hmm.
Totally blank templates work best for me. I've created my own template. Like for my work planning, I just have a plain notebook. On one side I have to do, and that takes up about a third of the page, and then the other 2/3 and the whole other side is for notes from the day, from meetings, from things like that.
Right.
Personally, I have like a daily to-do list. Like literally it says, today did you ?
Mm-hmm.
For all the things I need to do. My partner and I have a joint calendar, and she holds my feet to the fire. Like if ever I mention like, oh, I have this appointment, is it on the calendar? Is it on the calendar?
Right.
Did you update the calendar? Like she is, if it's not on the calendar, it's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that I had to realize too. Like you have to have multiple planners for almost every big bucket of your life.
Right.
To kind of keep things aligned. And now I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out, like, do I need to have one big calendar where everything is?
Or you can do what we mentioned before, which shout out to my friend Special, who I had the planning event with last year. You can always create the Franken planner.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of do like having an all-purpose like style of planning.
You seen that big ass? Can we cuss on here? Yes. You know that big ass calendar that be on the tickety top?
You had to repeat it.
Yeah.
Yes, the one on the wall.
I've definitely thought about doing that too, just because things get planned out so far.
Semi in limbo about it.
Word.
Only because of space. It's a great looking display.
It's ginormous,
use, but it's a big planner.
Yeah, and I would have to find somewhere discreet to put it, because like I have visitors sometimes and I want everybody in my business.
I mean, yeah, it would be. I mean, you'd have to have like a private area.
Word. Like
anyone who's using that would literally have a space that's like a no one can be in this space type of setup.
Right.
And then on top of that, in your case with having children, the worst thing you want to think of is like someone trying to go in there and either drawing on it or... Which
would happen.
Yeah, so you got to factor those things in as well.
My child is drawing on the table as we speak. Not the paper, but the table.
Yeah.
Christ.
So, what... If you were put in a position... Matter of fact, all right, I got a good scenario. Because I'm not doing the 5-album thing with you, because... Nah. I mean, you could come up with 5, but it could be... We might do it at the end.
Okay.
Drop you in the room, and you get a request to get any book delivered to like read. You get to read that book, and that's going to be like the book that gets you through for the next month, what book would it be?
4 Agreements.
Why?
Because it's just a blueprint for life. And I think for me and how I get so stuck in my head and people's perception of me and this and that, the 4 Agreements is just a reminder of how to remain true to myself.
Okay.
I think that's a good foundation.
Can you tell the listeners, because some people may know, some people may not, what are the 4 agreements?
Shit.
You
I know
do not
one of them is
put the phone down.
negative. I'm not
Put
doing
the phone down. I mean, you can go over them together, because as soon as you start thinking of some of them, I'll help. I mean,
I know 2 of them is, one is don't take anything personal. 2 is be impeccable with your word. The other 2 always escape me. That's why I have to read it every year.
don't make assumptions.
Don't make assumptions.
Always do your best.
Always do your best. There it is. Boom. Teamwork.
He was about to sit there and spend like 20 to
I had
30
it right here.
And that small print.
No, they have like a poster on the Amazon. $22. No, I'm not getting that.
Sell them on Etsy.
I could just make one.
Have you been along with the choose progress over perfection sticker that I didn't get yet? Oh, okay. All right.
As the cricket sits there collecting dust.
Yeah, Brian, I'm going to make you the sticker.
I got you, bro.
I'll have like 5 more planners by then.
Oh my God. Y'all see how he does me? Do y'all see it?
Okay, let's go ahead and acknowledge the elephant in the room, since I'm always like doing her bad or saying things out of the norm.
No, he's just a quintessential big brother.
I just tell it like it is. And I think the reason I'm like that is because it's not that I don't think others haven't done it. I just think I come into it like blind and unknowing of like who did what or said what. So I'm like, look, this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. Sorry if you like it or don't like it, but
no fluff. No fluff zone.
And it's funny because I think I told you when I was at Cap 1, literally, I'm putting them out there now that I ain't there. It's been years and I ain't been there, but I had one of my managers, which I loved her to death because she was probably one of my favorite managers I worked for ever. And she literally was like, yeah, when you're on calls, you just didn't sound very enthused. So she was like, she put these clouds at my desk and it said, be fluffy. And I think I like it because...
So cute.
And I think I like it now because even when I was on service desk, I didn't have to be fluffy per se.
Yeah.
But I still had to have like some type of like coy with customer service. So it worked out. And then of course now I'm on phones like the least. The only time I'm on a phone call is if it's we're having a meeting, but everyone's not physically here, so we're remote. All right.
That's wonderful.
I'll hop in this call and sit and listen. Or I may say it might be a point that I need to give input, but it's not as bad. So I'm learning that balance, sweet spot with that.
I could be a little more fluffy in my role too, but that's neither here nor there.
What battles you in that position of not doing so?
I just feel like there's a switch that goes on when I'm working or having what's considered to be a professional or business conversation where I just am very like almost overly professional. But as many people know in the tech world, it's like praised to be more lax. That's beautiful, darling. Thank you. My daughter's showing me her picture. Thank you, Mama. Go make me another one. Go make me another one. Thank you, baby. So cute. Go make another one. So, and I came from a financial background where it was praised to be very matter of fact and almost stoic. So it's been a rough transition. But I found that the more personal I am and the more that I'm just like loose, I guess, in my conversation, the more I connect with people. So I'm trying to do better.
Okay.
And also just try to read the person that I'm talking to as well and let that drive how the conversation goes.
Do you overread?
Sometimes.
What is your... Oh, I got a good one.
Oh, boy.
Because no one else... Because I don't do this with other people, and I don't even think... I mean, you'll understand it. First of all, before we go any further, where did you get the Feelings Wheel sticker from?
Temu.
Oh, thanks for sharing the link. It's a good job.
I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, Temu. I think I did share the link. Actually, maybe I did. I'm sorry. But yeah, Temu.
Sure.
Temu. Get out the bathroom, Max. She's using the bathroom. Is she going pee-pee?
Well, she's not.
Sure, get out the bathroom. 1. Go play, Mama.
All right, so a lot happened since our last breakdown. So,
Truly.
do you remember where you left off?
We were talking about the switch between being fluffy and stoic at work.
Right. Okay. How overwhelming can that be? I guess that's like the bigger question.
Um, I mean, it can be pretty overwhelming just because you're always trying to please management, please the client, but also I'm a huge overthinker.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when I'm able to let that down, I'm good. And I feel like the time when I was most comfortable doing that, where there wasn't really any thought associated, was when I was on anti-anxiety meds. But unfortunately, the side effects, the cons were, there were more cons than pros when it came to the side effects versus the actual output. So had to hop off of those. So I'm kind of back into the original non-medicated state, and I'm just trying to be more mindful of everything.
Okay. All right. All right. There you go.
Y'all done talking? Say love you.
Hi. Hi. Hi, honey. And you need to come back, please. Huh? I said you need to come
We got
back,
an actual phone call during the podcast because everybody.
I'm trying.
My best friend has called to check on the kids, like a true best friend does.
I'm trying to come, make it do what it do.
I'm currently recording a podcast.
What?
She's gonna tell you that after the fact, so it's nothing unusual.
Exactly.
My bad.
Ma'am, you need to let somebody know that they're being recorded.
I'm sorry.
I am in Illinois.
Say you nurse, then I see.
No, I'm not.
Well, close enough.
I'm a paralegal.
But yes, I'm being forced back into the content creation bubble.
Force you in.
Thank you.
I'm forcing myself.
So I have some reinforcements.
You said what?
I said so I have some reinforcement, like to push your butt right back in there.
I know it's time.
Yes, it is.
It is time. You gonna see me pop out slowly but surely.
Good. Not no slowly but surely. Not surely.
Surely. Surely gully.
It must be. Yeah.
This is gonna be one of the most interesting edits of the podcast. By
I'm
the way.
sorry.
Are you gonna
No,
go
you're
back
not.
to vlogging or?
I just want to pick one thing at a time, as to not overwhelm myself. But a planning meeting is needed.
Okay.
Yes. All right, Shiggy, go. Your shoes are on the wrong feet. For one, 2, get out. Is this your first time recording with kids present?
Nope.
Oh.
Your kids present, yes.
Young kids?
Your kids.
I'm asking, young kids?
No.
But 2-year-olds are like baby monsters.
So cool. You gave me a lob. So good job. How do you balance?
Balance what?
Everything? Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is delegation.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I was working from home, and I had all 3 kids here, and that was just not doable at all. So my 2-year-old, who's the middle one, who you probably hear screaming, I had to put her in daycare.
Right.
Because I noticed she was falling through the cracks. And now, with the 9-year-old, I'm noticing that he needs more social interaction and this and that. So he's about to go to a school. And then my youngest is 1. So, he still naps a lot and all that, whatever. So a lot of it is delegation. And honestly, planning and scheduling.
Okay.
So I'm being forced into a space where I have to do that effectively.
Okay. Do you manage your free time better?
What is that? Free time.
The blocks that you don't work or sleep.
Free time. Really, the only free time I get is when they're with their grandparents.
Okay. So how do you manage your free time?
That's really when I try to get in the things that I have to do that kids can't be included.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, my parents are coming down this weekend, so I can do, like, my self-care, nails, hair, things like that, because I'm going out of town next week. So there's always, like, a plan or some sort of intent behind them being away or whatever. And that's why I fit in all the other stuff.
Got you. All right, Fab Five. For those who
Go find it.
So for those who are unaware, because I've done this on the show before personally, but I've not had a guest come on to do these, which started the Timu conversation before the phone call and like 1,001 other things happen. You come up with four thoughts, and you come up with a feeling on the feelings wheel. So I shared the feelings wheel with people before. I'll make sure I put that in the show notes. But the Fab Five consists of where are you mentally, personally, professionally, creatively, and what is your one word feeling. And you're not limited to one word, and like it doesn't have to be a basic word. It can be something as detailed or specific, but you have to pick a word on the wheel. So she's going to, and why I'm sharing or why I'm making this relevant or a conversation is because we do this anytime we've had phone calls in general. And let me backtrack because I want to make sure I'm clear. Everything that I mentioned earlier about as far as the kids and the no kids thing, it's me being me. Offline, Neash knows I'm very nonchalant, but I'm also like I ask burning questions because it's me knowing and not understanding certain things, but also like getting a good idea from someone who lives and breathes it. Mm-hmm. But you're Fab Five whenever you're ready.
All right, so let's see. So
Fair warning before we go any further. She's going to do these in decimals, so don't be surprised.
Yeah, pretty much.
She follows the Keith Lee scale.
So personal. Wait, I gotta.
Doesn't matter what order. Personal, professional, creative,
professional, creative,
mental.
Okay.
Yep.
Personal. I would give that about a 6.2.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm navigating some personal things right now that I acknowledge need to be navigated, which I think I have to give myself credit for, but it's still like getting through the muck of it. That has been a process.
Right.
But I'm not going to let that process take too long. Professional, I give myself about a 7. I'm finally in a role that I feel like aligns with what I do, but it is in a fast-paced startup tech environment, and that can be frustrating because as soon as you get used to going right, they go left. So that's that.
Welcome to tech.
I know. Creative, I would give that a solid 6. I dusted my camera off. You know, I love taking pictures. I'm reminding myself that I have a very powerful camera in my hand at all times with my phone. And I am...
And she owns an actual camera as well for photography.
3.
But 3. See, and this is where this is the I don't know stuff thing comes in, but then she'll like throw these like anonymous text stabs. But let it rock. Keep going. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so cute. But yeah, photography, definitely I'm making it a point to just do it and not try to think about it too much when it comes to photography and, you know, even writing, cooking, that's a form of art. So all of that. So creatively, I'm trending upwards. Mm-hmm. And mentally, I would say I'm about a 7.6 overall. And then feeling, and that has to come off the feeling wheel.
Yep.
Damn.
Just move all your stuff from right there.
I know. Well, I don't want to make too much noise.
Yeah. Compared to all the noise the kids made?
Okay, but you can edit that out. I have a feelings wheel sticker on my laptop.
She says I can edit it out. Like it's gonna be just an easy hot fix.
I guess, I don't need it. This may not be on the feelings wheel, so if it's not, oh well. But I'm feeling motivated to just the areas that need to be cleaned up and improved to just get it done.
Okay.
So yeah.
Solid.
Your turn.
You can tell when somebody ain't had a podcast before. I think I'm start my own thing on. Personally, I am a 7. Professionally, I'm at about a 7.5 ish. It's been up and down with the grind, but I think now it's starting to come together, beginning to make more sense. So I'll say 7.5. Creative 4, only because I really have, and it's weird. You know what? I'm gonna say 5, only because there are things that I look at as being possible to do creative, but there are other things that I'm working and balancing the creativity. So, for instance, my designing efforts, if you've been listening to the podcast long enough, web design, graphic design, well, just don't like it. But I need to do it because that's like an avenue of business, and obviously have an LLC actively for it. But then on other acts, like other points such as podcasting, the blog, which I'm going to do after this podcast, and when I take time in doing it, recording videos on TikTok and other platforms, that's where it kind of balances out. So it's still just trying to find that happy, sweet spot.
Mommy. Superman.
Ma'am,
Gotta be quiet, Mama.
thank you.
Go play Superman.
I'm sorry. It's not personal. I love you. I can't edit but so much of you talking out.
Okay.
Or hang out. Either or. Might be nap too. And what did I dodge mentally? Mentally is literally at about a 3 or 4 right now.
Really?
Yeah. It's low only because there's a lot of pressure that I feel like I put on myself of not feeling like I'm supposed to be where I'm at or something.
Like imposter syndrome?
Not even imposter syndrome. It's more of just elements around me that are out of control, such as personal stuff we talked about offline with the upper members of the family. We'll leave it at that. And just trying to be supportive and also still function through my day to day. Someone said before I get my feeling. Someone said something on some video, and it kind of made me laugh, but it's also kind of ironic because the thing they said was they look at it as people took podcasts and they did basically, instead of having conversations on the porch, now they're just getting microphones. And I'm like, that's kind of false. Because some people are using podcasts to actually express and share more that they couldn't share with the people on the porch.
That's facts.
The problem became folks don't know everything doesn't need to be put on wax. So because of that, it's been like, hey, let's leave the porch and let's go and buy some microphones and buy a
Start a
computer.
dumpster fire.
Yeah, and it gets out of control. The feeling right now is focused. It really has been focused. I've really been like just disciplined, trying to get stuff done. I've shared with some of the people on here. They may have heard it or may not have, about just the list of books that I'm trying to read and get through. So just been working on that. We're at an interesting point because we're like 45 minutes in almost. Well, technically 40 because a lot of this got to get taken out. But I'm doing this in reverse only because right now is probably a good point to do it. Think of or come up with what you would consider as 5 albums. Warning, these are probably going to be some music that I personally don't know.
Oh, Lord.
Because I know you based on what you played in the car, I was like, I don't know none of these artists. But 5 albums that are non-skippable, like you would just let them play, start to finish.
Tyler, the Creator, Igor.
It's actually one of mine. Well, that would be one of mine, but okay.
Kanye West, Life of Pablo. Olivia Rodrigo, her first one. I can't think of what it is right now.
We don't need it. Just keep going.
Got it. So that's 3.
She'll try to look it up while we...
Don't cancel me. But anything by Daniel Caesar. He has me in the chokehold. And Steve Lacy, Gemini. What is it called?
The one with Bad Habit on it?
Yes. Is it just called Gemini? No. Yeah, Gemini Rights. Yeah. He's amazing live as well. But yeah. I have many, many others, but those are just the ones that have been in heavy rotation lately.
Okay. They already know mine.
Okay.
I think I've given mine like almost every episode that I've had guests on. So to close, since you don't know this one, I don't know if have you ever listened to like a full show?
I have.
Okay, so you know how to do it. Do you know what I do at the end?
I'm trying to remember.
Okay. What's the name of the show?
Don't do this.
No, it's simple.
Pass.
What's the name? No, what's the name of the podcast?
Stop.
It's called The Pass.
The pass. Right.
So why are we trying to overthink it?
That's what I do.
You knew the answer. Like, oh.
I do the same thing at work. I know the answer, and I'll be like, I don't know.
Walking algorithm.
Yeah.
When you finally realized what that meant yesterday.
Working on it.
I was today years old. So because of the title being the pass,
Yep.
the ending is to pass a message along to the readers or the listeners. It can be about anything we've talked about during the show. It could be a general thought that might be something that you might feel could be helpful to someone listening.
Mm-hmm.
It could be whatever you want it to be. But it's a message to pass along and ironically, with this being episode 400, this makes it even more big deal.
Can I pass 2 messages?
I don't care.
Okay.
You want to pass 12 messages?
See, this is the sassy.
No, because you got a counter. I'm going to do my goals. Can they be compound goals? No, how about just write goals?
I have 2 things I want to pass. The first one is, whatever you're feeling is valid. Just that simple. Whatever you're feeling is valid. And my second one is, whatever decision you make is the right decision. And that is coming from someone, transitioning out of a marriage. And, sorry, 2-year-old. And in those spaces and places and any other hard decisions, you can always wonder like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Do my feelings make sense? Da-da-da-da. And I really just had to be told. I can't take the credit and say tell myself, but I really had to be told that anything that I feel at any point in time is valid, and that any decision I make at the time that I make it is the right decision. Even if later on I realize it maybe wasn't the best decision, at that time it was the best decision because it would lead to experiences in the shaping of my character. So that's what I would pass.
Okay. So my message I'm going to pass along is, 1, in spite of all background noise, interruptions, delays, it was a good show. I appreciate you being on as a guest.
My pleasure.
As I tell people, and people think I say this being funny, do not be a stranger to my show. If it means bringing the equipment to Mom's house and doing the show there.
Clearly, since we know the equipment works now.
Yeah. I mean, it could be here, but I'm saying either way, like, if that, to save you the trouble, I have my mic, it'll be easier. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But knowing that it's an option, and this gives you the incentive to know you can do it. So
This definitely gives me the incentive to know I can do it. Because literally, like, I think the reason why I hadn't done it is because I'm like, I don't know how to set this shit up. I don't know, like, what?
I mean, you just figure it out.
So, I mean, yeah, that's true too.
And I already used that. Since I used that as my passing messages last week, or last episode, the message I'll pass along. It's like I'm learning this equipment, but either way,
Figure it out. It was too easy.
Yeah, no, for once. My message I'll pass along for episode 400 is keep going. 7 years ago, I went and got a microphone. You couldn't have told me 7 years later I'd still be doing shows. And why I say that is because there have been plenty of times, plenty of opportunities that I've literally wanted to be like, I don't think this is what I want to do. I'm not sure. Kind of burned out. Not interested. I've taken so many burnout breaks. I've internally pod faded. I joke about pod fading, but I really have hit walls where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. And I just take a little bit of a break, and then I come back, and it's like the spark comes back of just recording. like I've had my chill share of episodes, but this is probably one of my most chill episodes. And I haven't smoked anything, I haven't drank anything. I'm just sitting here.
Do you smoke?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know that.
I'm just a so
Got
fun.
some in there. Right? Oh, sorry.
No, I mean it's not a big deal. It's not. It's legal. I mean I don't think Virginia trip. It ain't like I don't carry none, so it ain't no big deal. But the thing with me is I'm just like a very generic smoker. So like when people go through that whole like they really get into it, and I take my little 2 puffs and I go to the next person.
That's the way to do it.
I just don't have time because I'm just not. It does what it needs to do in its moment, but I don't have a wow factor to it. And now, like, you know, we talked about this offline. Like now, the same is kind of hit with drinking a little bit, where I'm just not like I can make something, throw something together real quick, but being at bars and sitting and drinking after a while, it's just like
The thrill is gone.
it's not really the thing. Unless, and I mean, I guess the only exception is if you're around folks and you talking, chopping it up, laughing. It's a little different, but
Yeah.
but yeah, to the point of keep going. Just I couldn't tell you how many times. It's fine. I've really realized like how important it is to just go after it, and I think that's what's kind of gotten me to like understanding that, like I said to you earlier offline. And I have this ironically on my bracelet. Nobody cares.
It's true.
Work harder. And at first I used to be pissed about that, but then after a while I was like, no one cares that I'm out of shape. Because they look at it as if you are going to be in this world, you got to give your best effort regardless of what shape you're in or what state you're in. Because folks got their own stuff going on. So just being more considerate and more aware of that has been like one of my big standing points. So
That's true.
it's gonna be funny if I find a way to like edit those screams out. Because if I do,
Or if you listen back and you can't even hear it for real.
I listen. My boy, fingers crossed if he comes on the next episode. He has titled me, which I don't look at myself as this because it's just me doing what I know best. He's like, yo, you the pod guy because you just know how to like. Because he's listened to a lot of my shows and like he's been not critical. He's been very open in like seeing the evolution of how I recorded. So he understands like if I'm putting it together, he's like, whatever did or didn't go on, like I could, for instance, the call that y'all had, the interact, I can clean a lot of that up to not even seem like any bit of it happened. And it'll be like, how did you transit?
Where did the chaos go?
I don't, I have a way to describe it. I just don't, other than I just keep going. So.
And it comes full circle.
Yeah. You want to plug any info before we close out?
No, but I'll have something ready to plug next time. If you want to follow me on Instagram or whatever, you can follow me at Notoriously Neash. Neash is spelled Neash. Twitter is Notorious Neash because they don't allow for more than 15 characters.
I didn't know that.
It's so whack. But the next time I come on, which hopefully won't be for too long, I'll be plugging more because I'm getting back on my bandwagon. And I do just want to take a little sister moment just to say how proud I am of you and congratulations on your 400th episode.
Thank you.
It is definitely inspiration to see you push through no matter what and continue on this journey. So, as a creative and as a little sister, I appreciate and I'm inspired by that.
That's love. No, I appreciate that.
Of course.
I know I can be the bad guy at times, but the good part about it.
I know it's because you care. Because if he didn't care,
I wouldn't say a word.
He wouldn't say a word.
But here's an added piece of that before I close. The interesting part is, I know you can do it. Number one, and number two. And someone had to break this down to me, so I'm breaking this down to you. I'm probably gonna piss somebody off about what I'm about to say. Nearly, if not over a year ago, you didn't think you could handle all this.
Yeah. And by all this, he means pending divorce, single mom of 3, working and trying to pursue creative endeavors while dating and maintaining everything else.
And you currently still kept the 6-figure gig. You had maintained a part-time gig that had a 2-step, but it still, things were straight. Mm-hmm. You had a position roll to wherever it went to, and you had something fall right in place afterwards.
Sure did.
You had the car go through its fuck-ups.
And it's in the driveway right now.
Right. And even with everything working and going how it did, you still got it all done.
Yeah.
So it's proof in the pudding.
I think, and this is just the way my brain is wired, and I need to wire it a little differently, is when it comes to stuff like that, job, car, food on the table, roof over my head, smile on my kids' faces, I look at that as stuff that I have to do. That is a non-negotiable, not an option. That is what the fuck I have to do no matter what, right? Where the creative stuff is looked at as more optional. Mm-hmm. And as a mom, it's easy to feel guilty when you pursue optional shit.
Right.
But I need to switch in my brain that, like, okay, to take care of myself and to fulfill my personal happiness, that stuff can't be an option.
Right.
And that's what I'm moving towards. But, like, when you have a newborn, any mom out there knows, like, you don't have personal time.
Get a monkey wrench, yeah.
Right,
no,
like,
absolutely.
literally, you always have someone attached to you.
I guarantee you did it to yourself.
What happened?
We almost done.
All right, go sit down and watch TV.
Give us like not even 5 minutes.
But I'm at a space where I'm trying to make sure that I allow myself space and time to take care of myself mentally and creatively. Because if I don't take care of myself in those ways, it'll make it harder for me to push through and do all the other stuff that I consider non-negotiable. Right.
And sometimes it's an added bone as a lasting message, and it's not last word; it's just added piece. The adjustment now is like taking the foot off the gas.
Now that I can.
And on that note, hey, it's been a great show. Glad y'all have been tuning in. Listen, we have 400.
400.
Might be another 400 in the queue.
Oh, it will be. I can't wait till we hit 1,000.
Listen.
I say we. Wait till you hit 1,000.
No, you might. Hey, you'll be around.
Oh, well, you stuck with me.
Yeah. You're in VIP.
Hey, I'm not at the ticket booth no more. I'm not in the queue.
You was never at the ticket booth.
I was in the queue for it. It was a quick minute, but
no, you was in the queue because you had life.
Facts.
Life was crazy for you on the West Coast. Oh no, you ain't gotta tell me.
Bananas.
I said, yo, I need to send you some microphones because you had a whole live show going on out there without my permission.
Have mercy. I needed, like you said, boom mics and cameras.
Yeah, it would have been a whole setup. But yeah, no, continue shining. I know we wrapping up, but until next time, this is The Past. This is my sis Neash, and she's niching down.
Yeah.
All right, no, keep on adding to your plate and watch what happen. Okay, this food is too much.
Shut up.
All right, y'all. Catch y'all next time. Take it easy.
Bye.
Truly hope you all enjoyed the show. Definitely was a lot to unpack, but I know you'll walk away with something important. As I share at the end of each season, do find your way to get into podcasting if it's something you would like to do. My podcasts are currently recorded via Buzzsprout. Been very good to me. If you want to learn more about using them, definitely hit me up at thepastbtpod@gmail.com. And also the microphone that you're hearing me on is the Blue Yeti X. Have been rolling with it for over 3 years. We've been doing this ride for quite some time, so I hope someone could find this mic useful. Again, find those people who are good or helpful in what you're trying to do to be better today than you were yesterday. The primary goal is to be 1% better. Hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll be back again to do this next time.